What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the weekly live chat. I think this is number 75. Um, there's not a whole lot of news this week, honestly, but there are some things. The Cody Garbrandt versus Ronnie Yaya fight we can talk about. We can, of course, talk about. I could talk to the end of time about UFC 280, Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev, which is coming up in about a month. That's a month away. I'm probably going to do a video tonight. I have a good idea for a video, but I'm not even going to tell you guys what I'm going to do tonight because I might not do it. Worst case scenario, it'll come out tomorrow. But I have a good idea for a video that I have not seen. I searched and I have not seen a video on it anywhere. So I might do that. But as always, we can really talk about whatever. We can talk about Jose Aldo's retirement. We did what was it, on Monday, I believe it was. We did a 2-hour stream, a little over 2-hour stream. We hit 5,000 subscribers on the channel this week. It is September 21st, 2022. The year is almost over. I mean, how is crazy is that? I know we still got, a few months, but it's just crazy that it's already September. Like this time last year, we were watching Volkanovski versus Ortega. The fight that a lot of people said was super competitive, but really was a one-sided beatdown with a couple close submissions by Brian Ortega. And honestly, to be honest, I haven't been paying attention, like super close attention to the news. So there could be some other news that I missed, which I'm actually going to look up right now. But as always, guys, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and turn on notifications. And also, after this stream, if you have not already, do me a favor and go watch my Chris Curtis interview. We did a 45-minute video or 45-minute interview. I just posted it on my channel. Came out earlier today. So do yourself a favor. Do me a favor and go check that out after the stream. That came out on the channel. So it's a great interview. It's probably the best interview we've done so far. And it was a perfect time. And we covered everything in the interview. We talked about his next fight. We talked about his last fight against Jack Hermanson. We talked about, the fan backlash from him flipping off Jack Hermanson. We talked about Sean Strickland pulling out of the Jared Cannonier fight. We talked about Adesanya versus Pereira in Madison Square Garden. We talked about UFC 279. We talked about Hamzat Chimaev. We talked a little bit about Nate Diaz. We talked about Chael Sonnen. We talked about Nick Maximoff. There's a lot we talked about in the interview. It's 45 minutes long. Do me a favor, whether you're watching this live right now or you're watching this, in the future after I'm no longer live. If you haven't already went and watched that video, go watch the video, like it, and comment on it. I would greatly appreciate it. And I got to see what people like. I mean, if people like interviews, I'm going to be forced to start doing more interviews. So there you go. There's a way to show me by going to watch that video. Okay, throw some questions in the chat as always as well. Sup Panthers Rule, what's going on? Sup Fight Life, sup French Fries, what's up Zach? What's up Mohammed? What's up SK? Just saw the interview with Action Man leveling up. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. What do you think of young 17-year-old Ramos? It's too early to tell, man. It's really too early to tell. I like his confidence. I'm saying he's ready to fight a top guy already. But it's really too early to decipher his skill set. Thoughts on Curtis versus Paulo? I kept thinking about that fight when I was watching the interview. If Chris could get one more win, I think it could be a good matchup. I like the fight, but it's not. That doesn't make sense right now. Paulo Costa is ranked like number 5, number 6. Curtis just broke into the top 15. Lost his last fight against Jack Hermanson. The Paulo Costa fight doesn't make sense. Now, would Chris take that fight? I'm sure he would. Would Paulo Costa? Probably not, honestly. I'm not saying anything like that. He's scared of him or anything. It just doesn't make sense. Paulo Costa is only going to take a fight with another top contender, whether it be Robert Whitaker or Paulo Costa may even angle for a title shot, to be honest. He has one more fight on the deal, so we'll see what happens. That'd be a fun fight. I definitely think it'd be a tough fight for Chris. Paulo Costa is very good, but it'd be very interesting, primarily strikers. It'd be a lot of fun to watch. What's up, Niles? I've been trying to play matchmaker in my head for Chris Curtis' next fight. I would like to see him fight up, but if he has to fight down, who would you match him up with? Like it up. I kind of want to see after what he was saying about Nick Maximoff. Nick Maximoff got a fight coming up. If Nick Maximoff beats Jacob Malkoun, Match Chris Curtis up with Nick Maximoff. Maximoff doesn't really deserve it, and Chris is adamant that Maximoff won't take that fight. But that doesn't mean I don't have to want it. So, what's up, John Rod? Joe Rogan says he will probably go out if Dana goes. Is he implying? No, I don't know. It's probably just some dumbass clip from a Joe Rogan podcast, to be quite honest. Floyd was on TMZ saying he wanted to fight Conor next year, and they were already working on it. What movie should I go watch when the fight is on? Anything. Anything. Sharknado. Go watch Sharknado. I would never watch it. I didn't watch the first one. I damn sure wouldn't watch this one. What's up, Blaze One? Do you think you can try to get a Chris Barnett interview? I mean, I could try to message him, dude, but it's more difficult than you would think. I mean, these people are getting hounded by fans and media requests all the time, harassed by people. I feel weird asking them to begin with, but then on top of that, it's probably like they're not even going to see my message anyway, but I can maybe try. I'll think about it. That does sound like a great interview. Let's just play in a world where Hamzat does move up to 85. Who's his immediate opponent? Paulo Costa. 100% Paulo Costa if he does move up. Is Stipe Miocic retired? Dude became a fireman, I guess. I don't know, man. He fell off the face of the earth, but Stipe's never been super active. Stipe's never been super active. So I'm not really sure. I think Stipe max has 1-2 fights left in him. If he fights again, let's say he fights against a top contender, whether it be Cyril Gane, Curtis Blades, John Jones, he'll fight one fight. If he wins, then he'll challenge for the belt. If he loses, he'll retire. Stipe just doesn't seem like his heart's in it. I mean, dude's been out since what, March of last year? We're coming, I mean, what was that, a year? That's a year and a half. We're slowly creeping towards 2 years. Slowly creeping towards 2 years of Stipe Miocic being out. So I consider him retired. I consider Conor McGregor retired. I know he had a leg break. He's been out for over a year, but he was retired before that. Dude, think about it. Dude has won one fight since winning the lightweight title against Eddie Alvarez. One fight. And it was against a washed up, dead body in Cowboy Cerrone, as much as it pains me to say. It meant literally nothing. It meant as much as beating up a, toddler. So I consider Conor retired too. He may never come back. I don't think he will, unless he's going to get favorable matchups, which I think they'll try to give him the most favorable matchup they can, but nothing's easy anymore. So I think Conor, was never as good as everybody said he was. That's another video I got to do. I don't think he was ever as good as people say he was. His resume isn't that good, even though he was a double champion. And I think he's done. As much as it pains me to say, because Conor's one of my favorite fighters to watch fight. Win or lose, he always brings it. And win or lose, he always has a very exciting fight style. So it's unfortunate that, in a way, he took the John Jones route. And I don't mean like specifically getting in trouble and stuff like that. Well, even though he has. But the John Jones route, as in inactivity and wasting his career. He wasted. So what? Since 2016, he's fought Habib, Dustin twice, and Cowboy. He's fought 4 times in the last 6 years. I don't think I'm forgetting any. Just a waste. 4 times in 6 years. Dude didn't even fight once a year. So it really is sad when you think of it, because I would have loved to seen Conor, after the Eddie Alvarez win, try to defend that lightweight belt. I think it would have got snatched off him relatively quickly. And I think that's why he did what he did. Also, obviously, money reasons as well. Monetarily, he's going to make more against some big name old man boxer than he's going to make against defending his title. But I would have liked to seen what if, and I think it's going to be one of those things where one day, whether it's his next fight or whether it's, 2 fights from now or whether it's 3 fights from now, depending on when he fights, or even if it's his next fight, but it's not for a couple years, there's going to be one day where Conor gets in the cage and even his biggest supporters are going to be like, this Conor is not that good. It's going to be like a Tony Ferguson, Nate Diaz moment where it's like, ugh. And they're going to realize, it's going to come to the realization that we missed out on a lot of good Conor McGregor years. Regardless of what I think of his skill set, and I think he was overhyped. I think he's one of the most overrated fighters of all time. He was still a very good fighter. And the fact that he fought a few times over the course of 6 years while being healthy, as far as we know, I think is a travesty, honestly. It's a travesty. It's a travesty that, a guy with his skill set, the magnitude that he brings to the sport, and arguably at the time on top of the world, and he just sits out, and then he comes back and he loses, and then he sits out some more, then he comes back and wins, and then he sits out some more, and then he comes back and gets KO'd, and he comes right back after that, but then he gets a career-altering injury. If Conor in his next fight comes back and looks like garbage, everyone will blame it on the injury. I'll tell you that much right now. Remember that. Remember I said that. I want you to remember I said that. Where was I at? I think I was just on the Stipe question. So you got a big rant out of the Stipe question. Maximov is boring. I don't want that for Curtis. Give him a fun fight. Well, I think Curtis stops him. So, I think I would like it because Nick Maximov's talking shit, man. I was thinking Curtis versus Meerschaert, probably butchers his last name, but I don't know if Meerschaert's ranked. I don't know. How about Curtis versus that Andre guy that beat up Nick to set up the fight if Nick wins? I don't know, man. I don't know what the answers are. I think Curtis would literally take any fight right now. He said he wants to fight October, November. So I think he would take any fight, but it's hard. I mean, outside of the rankings, there's endless options, but do any of them really make a lot of sense? Not really. How are you? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good as well. How's the 5K life treating you? The 5K life is treating me astoundingly. I absolutely love it. I can't believe, looking at the channel and seeing that 5,000 subscribers right next to the channel name is something to behold, guys. And it's all thanks to you guys. It's all thanks to you guys. 10,000 is the next big goal. I don't care about 6,000. I don't care about 7,000. I don't care about 8. I don't care about 9. 10,000 is the next big goal, and we're going to hit it. I don't know if it'll be this year. It'll be the first quarter of next year. I think with all the big fights coming up, the end of October, early November, early December, there's a lot of great fights to end this year. I think it's theoretically possible to double the channel. And you would have all of October, November, December. In 3 months, I think it's theoretically possible to double the channel. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we will see. We will see. And regardless, it doesn't matter to me. I want it to happen, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing regardless. And that's putting out quality stuff, staying consistent, constantly improving. And that's all I can do. That's all I can do. The rest will have to take care of itself. So keep watching the videos. I'll tell you this, guys, every stream. If you want to help the channel, watch the videos from beginning to end. That is the most important thing in the YouTube algorithm, is how long people watch your videos. So if you watch from beginning to end, you're helping YouTube decide to recommend that video more. So there you go. But we're going to see. Maybe 10K before the end of the year. I think it's possible. I'm not counting on it, but I think it's possible. Stipe done. Maybe so. Don't think I've wanted to see Stipe again, to be honest. With Gone, Blades, Tuivasa, and Aspinall, I don't know if he can handle these killers, plus Ngannou. Yeah, Stipe's getting up there. Hey, Joey, what's up? I like the Chris Curtis interview. Good stuff. Thank you, Nolan. I'm glad you enjoyed it. More interviews in the future for sure. So I'm glad you enjoy it. Good afternoon, Joey. How was your day? My day was good. Hope your day was good as well. Chael says Hamzat next fight will be against Leon, or Kamaru will probably fight the win, and Kamaru will probably fight the winner. He makes it. Kamaru not going to be ready by early night. That's absolute horseshit. Chael Sonnen doesn't know what he's talking about. Unless there is an injury to Kamaru, then 100% Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards will be next. And that fight isn't going to happen until March or April anyway. So Kamaru will be ready by March or April. Chael Sonnen's full of shit. Conor did okay against Dustin in the second fight until he got caught. Eh. Did he do okay? Yeah, he did okay. Doesn't change the fact he got knocked out. 5K all day. 10K before the end of the year. I predicted it in April. Okay. We'll see. Just keep watching the videos and watch them all the way to the end. And keep coming to the streams. And we'll do it. Doing more fighter interviews will definitely speed up the chase to 10K. I don't know. Chris Curtis versus Puhili Soriano would be fun. I don't know if he's... But I think they're teammates. Actually. So I doubt that would happen. Finally, someone speaks facts about on Conor. Yeah, it's horseshit. It's all the MMA media lie about him. So, thoughts on Gregory Rodriguez? He's a beast, all heart. That, if you watch the Chris Curtis interview, Chris Curtis said if I had to fight someone out of the rankings, it could be like a guy like Gregory Rodriguez, but he's going to be out for a while with that cut. Whew, that would be straight up insanity. That'd be straight up insanity. Could you imagine? Hi, what's up? Why does everyone think Stipe is washed? Anybody would have got KO'd by Ngannou. I think it's the age and the fact that he's constantly just inactive. I think that's the reason. So, Stipe's over 40 years old. Yeah, in the heavyweight division, you can get away with being older, but that's a factor that I just mentioned. I think Usman is hurt right now. Well, it's only September. It's about to be October. He has 6 months to be ready for March, basically. Who do you think would have won, Volk or Prime 145 Conor? Definitely Volk. Stipe's done with title contention. His inactivity at his old age is a big red flag. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we hear Stipe retires anytime soon. Would not surprise me. You can name a ton of people who were doing well until they weren't. That is true. Got an Aquafina for a change. Dude's picking up on the water. They were actually out of the store brand. So I just said, you know what? I'm getting the bougie water now, even though it all tastes the same. You know, I don't believe that shit. You know, this Deer Park tastes better. It all tastes the same. I actually have some of the store brand too. I usually just get it at the wholesale club. But yeah, I'm rocking the Aquafina. All that YouTube money, all them donations is going towards my Aquafina. I gotta upgrade. But that's funny that you noticed that. Keep the donations coming. Keep watching the channel. That way I can afford Aquafina instead of the store brand. Even though it tastes exactly the same. I got to flex. Imagine a UFC fighter asks for an interview and you go for it. And when the meetings start, he is sitting in a chair next to Sean O'Malley. That will be the day. Sure. Conor fighting Mayweather was the reason I started watching MMA. So Conor was crucial for the rise of popularity in MMA. I don't know. He definitely increased the popularity of MMA. But who's to say it wouldn't happen anyway? So, I mean, but fighters at heavier weights have longer longevity, especially heavyweight. Agreed. Love your channel because the honesty and you don't do all that corny stuff like other channels. That's what I aim for, man. No corny shit. No faking enthusiasm for bullshit cards. No constant betting talk. Try to be relatively unbiased. That's the goal of the channel. And I'm just having fun here. People take shit way too seriously and they try to in my what's the word I'm looking for? Exploration around MMA YouTube, because I really don't watch MMA YouTube. I've also found, I meant to mention this a couple times. I meant to mention this a couple times for those who didn't catch that because I said it really fast. I found people that get on YouTube to talk about MMA and they put on like this weird fake voice and they're talking like they're an announcer or some shit. Like, dude, you're not Jim Ross from the WWF days. Why are you talking like that? And I find that bizarre. That's another thing. I find 100% all day, every day. And I get there's a niche for this. It's just not for me, of the betting talk. And then you have the channels who are from a fan's perspective, but they're super biased. And they only cover what they think will get clicks. So they'll and I know we're all looking for clicks at the end of the day, but they'll just, make something out of nothing just so they can make a video about it to get clicks. And they'll talk in circles, flat out lie. There's some people just making up absolute bullshit, posting a title, posting a thumbnail. And it's the definition of clickbait. And my definition of clickbait is advertising with something, whether it be a title or thumbnail, that is not genuinely what will be fulfilled in the video. You basically make up something, and once you get them to the video, you talk about something kind of similar, but it's not really what you advertised it as in the title or thumbnail. There's too many channels that do that shit, and if you're out there just making up fake MMA headlines, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I hate that dumb shit, and I see that all the time. And I think what bothers me about it now is I used to never see it. But now I got people who sending me messages like, "Oh, you saw this?" And they're sending me screenshots of, assholes who are posting on YouTube who have 50,000 subscribers or wherever they may have 60,000 subscribers. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, the so-and-so said this." And it's just factually incorrect. And they just made it up. And it's bullshit. And it actually bothers me, annoys me now. When you getting that Fiji water, when the donations start, when I start getting $100 per stream on donations, I'll start getting the Fiji water. I've never even tasted Fiji water. Does that taste different or no? It probably tastes the same. Are you actually considering going to UFC 281 or with Curtis? Dude, if Curtis hits me up and says he has an extra ticket, I'm definitely going. But I considered going with my fiance before, but I don't want to go there for one day. So then I got to rent a hotel for 2 or 3 days. And then I'm probably gonna have to take a bus there because I'm not driving my car and paying $150 a night in parking. And there's just a lot of expenses that come with it. And then on top of that, the tickets will probably be like a total of at least like $1,400. I'm not getting shitty tickets. So long answer, maybe. Short answer, most likely not. Thoughts on Bo Nickel already getting added to the UFC game when Fiziev, Strickland, and Pereira aren't in it? Disturbing. Is that official news yet? I seen that Dana said they were going to add someone to it. I never understood why all the teens at music school were flexing with their Fiji water. Yeah, I have no idea. I hope Hamzat gets booked again soon. I love his fights. I agree. I'm praying. Colby Covington, Hamzat Chimaev, December. I actually like Food Lion water. For me, all the water tastes the same. I never tasted a water that tasted different. So, who should Rose Namajunas fight for people to like her again? I think she should just fight Pat Barry off, maybe. Divorce him. Connor's ranked number 11 and Tony's number 15 at lightweight. Clowns. Yeah, I guess they are. What do you think of the chances they make Hamzat versus Colby next? And if not, what's next for him? It has to happen. I'm telling you. That's the only fight to make right now. So I'll say 75% chance it happens. I think it may even be the main event of UFC 282. The fact that we haven't got any news on UFC 282, and I've thought about making a video on this, but I could just be blatantly wrong, and then I'm kind of making up shit, But just my educated guess. I think Glover versus Yuri, which was targeted for 282 in December, could be moved to January for 283 in Brazil. And then they need a main event for December, but they don't want to use Jones because they're just waiting for Ngannou to come back to do Ngannou Jones. So they need a main event for that card, and they really don't have it. You look at the, who's available, who's not available. They don't really have anything. They could do Hamzat versus Colby as the main event of the December card. So I'll say it happens. If you had to pick 2 fighters to help you in a street fight, who would you pick? I haven't a clue. I'd pick 2 of the best. So I'll go Charles Oliveira and Yuri Prohaska. Next fight for Marvin Vettori, personally, I want to see him versus Andre Muniz. I think that makes sense to give Muniz a step up and Vettori a step back. Why drink bottled water and not filtered tap water? Convenience, basically. Just convenience. That's it. So, I think if Michael Chiesa loses another fight, he's going to retire. I just don't think he can compete with the elite level guys. Yeah, I think he's kind of like a gatekeeper for the top 10, basically. I would agree with you. I don't know if he's going to retire, but he's in a tough spot. Honestly, 6 out of 10 MMA YouTube channels are unwatchable, in my opinion. Like you said, Joey, it's the fake voice that ruins it for me. Yeah, I don't understand. I think it's like nervousness. People just make up a fake voice to, I guess, cover some type of insecurity or something along those lines. And it's off-putting to me. But I'm glad you noticed it too. If Makhachev beats Oliveira, will he be the lightweight GOAT? What will be next for him? No. No, I almost said yes because I thought if you asked if Oliveira beats Makhachev, which would be yes. If Makhachev beats Oliveira, he's just getting started. If he wins, he will either fight the winner of Beneil Dariush versus Mateus Gamrot, or he will fight Fiziev after Fiziev TKO's Justin Gaethje. So, Colby's still dodging Hamzat. He said he wants to fight, but has avoided Hamzat's name like it's the plague. I have seen that. I have noticed that. Conor will probably go. No, that's not happening. I was thinking they might do Valentina on one of those cards coming up, maybe in Brazil if she rematches Santos. Could be. MMA Joey. I don't know what that's the only, there's no message behind it, so okay. Is there anyone in the welterweight top 15 Chandler could beat? Is there anyone in the welterweight top 15 that Chandler could beat? Let me take a look. Let me take a look. The answer is no. Probably not. Best chance of a victory is Jorge. But nah, he's not beating anyone in the welterweight top 15. Tap water can be laced depending. Yeah, I have no idea. Love the interview with Curtis, brother. Can't wait for your next MMA fighter interview. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Do you think they really give Hamzat another non-title main event so soon after the 279 fiasco? Without a doubt. Have you ever heard Dana White said John Jones will never headline a pay-per-view again? Yeah, if you've lived through that, then yes. Who does Vicente fight next? He's in a tough spot. Maybe Neil Magny, maybe Michelle Pajeda, maybe somebody outside the rankings, something along those lines, someone like hanging out in the like 15 to 20 range. What channels? We're not talking about any specific channels at all. If you're talking about, there's like weird channels that have like, I've seen channels that have like fake voices. They like do like a fake commentary voice when they're like interviewing fighters or even just doing MMA content. I had a dream last night where we were roommates and you came home from work and I gave you a handshake. I was like, where is this going? It said, nice to meet you, and told you I was Iceman in the chat. AKA Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man. That is a very weird dream that you're dreaming about me, but I guess that's cool. I guess I'm having a profound effect on your life. I can't believe Gaethje literally ducked Fiziev blatantly and nobody's talking about it. I don't think he's going to be able to. Hey, Joey, I sadly can't stay for the stream, but wanted to show support. I'm at the movies now watching Woman King. I'll let you know. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Did you watch Ikram Aliskerov on Dana White's Contender Series? If so, what did you think of the performance? I watched it after the fact, and maybe it's because I saw all the hype online talking about it. I watched it like the next day. I didn't think it was all, I mean, it was a decent performance, but against what level of competition? And he was even like eating some shots on the feet. I'm not super impressed, but it's still too early to tell. But I think he looked good enough. I think he's one of those guys that do deserve a contract in the UFC, so I'm not saying like he's some kind of garbage can or anything like that. But I wasn't like crazy impressed, but I had this high expectation after seeing people talking nonstop. Joey, rate my matchmaking in bantamweight. Sandhagen versus Vera, love it. Cruz versus Egger, love it. Font versus Yanez, love it. Marab versus Umar, love it. Yadong versus Simon. I like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thoughts on the MMA guru? I don't even really know the MMA guru outside of this chat when people have asked me about him. I mean, I know he exists. I've seen a little bit here and there, but I don't really have enough information to have any thoughts on him. Funny how Colby was throwing shots at Hamzat before Gilbert Burns' fight. Maybe he knows he would lose to Burns and therefore, I don't know if he thinks he'll lose, but it's it's just probably the last fight that he probably would want. Adriana Yanez is now ranked. I don't know who he could beat in the top 15. Maybe Rob Font versus Dominic Cruz. Yeah, Rob Font versus Dominic Cruz. I wanted Dominic Cruz versus Jose Aldo. In my personal opinion, that's the fight that I wanted to see. So, unfortunately, that's not going to happen anymore now that Jose retired. Eddie Alvarez could get back in the mix at lightweight in the UFC. I don't think that's going to happen. UFC is not going to re-sign him. Eddie Alvarez didn't even do shit outside the UFC. Post-UFC career, not pre-UFC career. I mean, what did he even do in one for a while? Yeah, I mean, he lost the majority of his fights. He lost 2 and had a no contest. When a fight he got finished in. So he basically lost 3 fights, but there was back of the head shots. So, yeah, he won 1 fight in one. He's won 1 fight since he left the UFC, and he's getting up there in age. He's 38 years old at lightweight. UFC ain't gonna re-sign Eddie Alvarez. Sorry to burst your bubble, my friend. Who wins, Masvidal or Leon, if that matchup comes up? Definitely Leon. I think Leon probably wins by decision, but may finish him on the feet. Those are good picks for who fights Islam if he wins, but I want to see Alex go. Oh, I forgot about Alex in the conversation. So he probably fights Alex, to be honest. If Fiziev championship material, I'll say this. I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. When I first started the channel, somebody asked me, who's somebody not ranked currently that you could see as a future UFC champion? The answer was Rafael Fiziev. Does Nico Price have a fight? Is he even ranked anymore? He's not ranked. How would a fight go between Ian Gary and Nico Price? I'd probably pick Ian Gary, but I don't think Nico Price has a fight, and he's not currently ranked. Profound effect on my life. All right, JK, bro, chill. Come on, man. I thought I had a profound effect. You're dreaming about me. Come on, that was endearing. So I'm gonna take that. Do you watch Anatomy of a Fighter? I've seen it before, but no, not really. I'm being dead serious when I tell you guys this. I literally don't have enough time to watch YouTube, let alone MMA YouTube, which MMA consumes like at least like 70% of my life, 100% of my free time. So not really. I haven't watched it a long time. I usually don't even watch the countdowns. I barely watch the embeddeds. I watch some interviews, and that's pretty much it. And I just get the news. I read the news. I check out certain things, quick clips here and there. And that's really honestly it. When I watch YouTube, I like to watch like really cool shit on YouTube, like Indigo Traveler. That's probably my favorite YouTuber, Indigo Traveler. He travels to all these like third world countries and like super dangerous situations, and I mean it's one of the best YouTube channels I've ever seen in my entire life. But I'm super fascinated with that type of stuff. So when I got free time to peruse YouTube, I'm watching Indigo Travelers. Or Indigo Traveler. Do you think it's disrespectful to Charles being the underdog? This just actually reminded me. Yes, it is disrespectful, but this reminded me of a message I read earlier, but I read it and then forgot to actually read it aloud because I read it before. Sorry, not MMA related, but are you a cat or a dog person? I'm both, honestly, but I have a dog right now, but I had a cat, but he passed away last year. So I only have a dog now, unfortunately. R.I.P. Joe, what do you think about Raul Rosa Jr. and him being only 17 years old, only in the UFC? I think it's interesting. I think it's crazy to be that young and be in the UFC, but we'll see what he can do. I mean, I like his confidence level, but I may or may not talk about that in the upcoming video. Eddie Alvarez is still one of the best lightweights of all time. Okay. Can Dustin still make a run at the title? No. Dustin would lose to Islam. He'd lose to Charles. He'd lose to Fiziev. No. How do you see Fiziev versus Islam going? I think that's going to be a hard fight. But if Islam can get him down in the later rounds, possibly like a third or fourth round Islam submission, but I could see Fiziev putting him out cold. Do you think Vettori can take Alex shots? I don't know. Vettori seems like he's made of steel, so maybe it's possible. It's possible, but it's hard to say. Did you know Michael Johnson KO'd Usman in sparring? What do you think makes Johnson so inconsistent? I mean, him KOing Usman in sparring literally means nothing. But I don't know what makes him inconsistent. But that other comment means absolutely nothing. Joe, do you think Justin Gaethje's avoiding the Fiziev fight for Max Holloway's return to 55 could be a possibility? No, I think if anything, he's avoiding the Fiziev fight because Fiziev's probably going to starch him, and they know that. So, Indigo Traveler is a fellow Kiwi. Is he? I did not know that. It bugs me how Chandler keeps calling for a title shot he does not deserve. Yeah, it bothers me when everyone does that, whether it's Jorge Masvidal, Conor McGregor, or Chandler. Dude says he's going to beat Dustin, which he's not even going to do, and then he wants a title shot. Get out of here. The middleweight division, top 15, lacks fighters who grapple heavy, wrestle heavy fighters. We have 2 kickboxers fighting for the middleweight crown. Yeah, I actually talked about that in the Chris Curtis interview. How I believe the middleweight division was better stylistically for him because it's not full of grapplers. It's not full of grapplers. So, okay, let me put this back over here. But yeah, I would agree with you. You got Andre Muniz, and that's really it for grapplers in the division. I mean, Whitaker's a good wrestler, but he's not using his grappling. Vittori's not even that great of a grappler, but he's a decent grappler. Most guys are strikers. You got Derek Brunson on his way out. Eddie and Chandler have to finish off their trilogy, though. Who wants to see that? But maybe. I mean, I think it would get a lot of hype. How would Prime Eddie Alvarez have done against Prime BJ Penn? I wasn't around for the Prime BJ era, but I did see it. I think Eddie Alvarez would spark him. Best grappler at heavyweight? I will say Curtis Blades. But he's more of a wrestler, though. I don't know. I know grappling isn't exactly the same as wrestling. It's more of everything. How embarrassed do you think a fighter was when he got beat by a 17-year-old kid? I don't know. Never really put any thought into it. I can't say. Have you seen Pereira next to Dominic Reyes? Pereira looks big. Yes, I have. What phone do you have? This guy's asked 2 questions since he's ever been in the channel. Why do I drink bottled water and not filtered? And now what phone do I have? I got the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Chandler don't even have a respectable win in the UFC. He needs to calm down. That is very true. Thoughts on Rogan being forced to wear a tie? Is he being forced? I have not heard him say that. I have seen him in a tie, but I have not seen that he's been forced to wear a tie. But I really don't have time to think about that, to be honest, so I've never thought about it. I don't care. That's the best I can give you right there. I'm just being honest with you. I don't care if Joe Rogan's forced to wear a tie. It is what it is, It's not the end of the world. It's not going to make or break me. Do you think Gregor Gillespie will ever return? Gregor Gillespie, I feel like Gregor Gillespie is like, he's got a Ouija board and he's sitting in the, I feel like Gregor Gillespie is sitting in his basement via candlelight with a Ouija board trying to somehow summon the dead body of Tony Ferguson so he can fight him. I think that's what Gregor Gillespie's doing at this point. Gregor Gillespie's retired. I mean, he's already like 35 years old. He's super inactive. Even when he was fighting, he's super inactive. He's begging for, a Tony Ferguson carcass for like 6 months. And then once he doesn't get the Tony Ferguson fight, he just disappears into Affinity. So I don't know. I don't think we'll ever see Gregor Gillespie again. I don't care if we do. And if we do see Gregor Gillespie again, I have a lightweight matchmaker video. I want to see Jalen Turner welcome him back to the lightweight division. So, do you agree with Chael Sonnen when he says Curtis Blades is John Jones' most dangerous matchup? I mean, he's definitely a dangerous matchup. But, no, not the most dangerous. I just see this 164 main event. I believe 164 was Benson Henderson, Anthony Pettis. It was in August of 2014, I believe. It definitely was. Yep. Because Pettis subbed in on short notice. It was supposed to be TJ Grant, and TJ Grant pulled out of that fight. Pettis was supposed to fight earlier. Let me make sure I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. I think I'm right. Pettis was supposed to fight earlier against Jose Aldo and pulled out of that fight. And there was a whole conspiracy theory that the UFC paid TJ Grant to step aside so that Pettis could step in, but TJ Grant never returned. I want to make a video about TJ Grant because there's a lot of new fans who don't know who TJ Grant is and the story that happened to him, and that's really sad. And he's one of the biggest what-ifs in the UFC. So I got to make a video on that. I wonder if I could hit him up and get an interview. I would love to do that because there's a huge conspiracy theory behind that, because Pettis was supposed to fight like August 3rd against Jose Aldo for the featherweight belt. Pettis pulled out of that fight. I think he had a cut or something. At the end of August was supposed to be Benson versus TJ Grant. TJ Grant pulled out, and Pettis stepped in, and people were like, well, what the hell? Pettis just pulled out of a fight. How's he stepping in? And it was apparently just a cut or something. He needed more time for it to heal, and there was a huge conspiracy theory. I'll do a video on it one day. So there you go. I don't even know how I got to that. Oh, I remember I saw 164 main event. I hope I'm right on that. I'm pretty sure I'm right, because the 163 ended up being Jose Aldo versus the Korean Zombie on short notice. Joey, weird matchup, but interesting as well. How would Yuri versus Gon go? Gon would wreck him. Hello. I forgot about Gregor. Do you play video games? Not really, but yeah, kind of, but not really. Poirier kills Chandler, in my opinion. What do you think? Yes, I think Poirier TKOs him. Costa would destroy Hamzat. I think you meant would. I don't know about destroy, but it'd be interesting. Joey, thoughts on... I don't know. I must have missed that. Was that from last night? I didn't watch last night yet. I'm dead. Jalen would murder Gregor. Yeah. Someone else said, no, that's not right. That's the dumbest thing. These are the dumbest questions ever. Who do you have winning, Jake Paul or Silva? Ugh. I can't believe I even read that one either. I don't know. Don't care. Don't even care to think about it. I'm not into YouTube boxing, even though Silva is one of my favorite fighters of all the time. Dude, people thought Gregor would beat Khabib. Yeah, and then he got head kick KO'd by Kevin Lee. Who should be next for Sarukian? I think it's a bit unfair to make him fight down. I wanted to see him versus RDA, but RDA doesn't seem too keen on that. Yuri could easily be the most popular fighter in the UFC if they promoted him like Adesanya. Dude's one of the more accomplished fighters outside the UFC, entertaining as hell. I think they'll get into it if Yuri continues to win. Who do you believe is better striker between Volk and Jan? Probably Jan. I don't know how Yuri hasn't been knocked out yet. I agree. Do you think O'Malley can beat Piotr Jan? Do you agree O'Malley can beat? I think it's possible, but I think the possibility is slim. Which pay-per-view had Rory McDonald versus Tyron Woodley? I don't remember, but I remember Rory McDonald just jabbing him to death. Maybe 158, but I could be dead wrong on that. I could be dead wrong. Let me know in the chat, because I'm not even looking it up, so just let me know. I'm just guessing 158. I'm throwing that out. It could be 167 as well. I could see it being 167. I'll say 158 or 167. Let me know. Even Hamzat has better English than Yuri. Honestly, I could see how language affects the barrier for casuals, but I wish it didn't. Yeah, I don't really care what language they speak, to be honest. Who's going to win, TJ or Aljo? The answer to that question is TJ. The answer to that question is TJ. I'm confident in that prediction. You did? No, I did not. This is just a dumb question. No, that is not accurate. But somebody wants to say it is. They're more than welcome to say that. I'm talking from a purely marketable standpoint. He's exciting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Yuri's one of the, if not the most exciting fighter. Who would win, Renato Moicano or Andre Fili? Totally different weight classes. Fili's a 35er. Moicano is a former 45er who's now fighting at 55. So I would go with Moicano. Joey, what's most likely for Justin Gaethje's next opponent since he's ducking Fiziev? Fiziev, Holloway, Conor. I'm thinking UFC's going to force his hand and make him fight Fiziev. 158 GSP versus Diaz. Yes, that's why I guessed it, because I figured maybe Rory fought on the same card. How is Clay Guida still fighting? How would a match versus Jim Miller go? I would hope Jim Miller would submit him. I actually don't like Clay Guida at all. So I would hope that Jim Miller would beat him. I think Jim Miller would beat him, but I'm not sure. Okay, this guy with another weird message. You don't need to hate anyone, man. It's all good. It's all good. If anybody in any other community is ever talking about me, I'm happy about it. So I wouldn't take it to heart too much. Sandhagen versus Cheeto. I'm going with... I'm leaning Sandhagen, but Cheeto's just so tough and durable. He's just so tough and durable. Hold on 1 second. Pull my phone off there. And Cheeto has nasty power, and he's so durable and unlimited stamina. So I think that fight could go either way. But I think Sandhagen is more skilled than Cheeto. Do you think TJ has the best footwork in the UFC? If not, who do you think has it? I'll say Corey Sandhagen has great footwork. Do that video soon. MMA is dry right now. What video was it? I forgot what I said that quick. Do you think Jalen can beat Dos Anjos? Yes, I think he can. I think that'd be a tough fight for him. McDonald versus Woodley was the co-main event of UFC 174. I don't even remember 174 at all. Let me Google it. Geez, no wonder I didn't remember. Demetrius Johnson, Ali Bagatinov. Forgot about Ali Bagatinov even existed. I forgot he even existed. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't already, like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Do you think Holloway stays at 45 or moves to 55? I think he probably wants to stay at 45, but he may move. It's tough to say. I'll say he stays. I'm stoked for Allen versus Cater, and that's actually a really solid card. We went over it the other day. Do you play Fortnite? No, I do not. Do you think Makhachev is overrated? Personally, I think Oliveira can finish him. Yes and no. I think Makhachev is very skilled, but I do think people, pretending he's going to be some 2-division champion when he hasn't even beat a top contender yet are delusional. So yes, he's overrated, but yes, he's also very highly skilled. Joey was Rory McDonald, GSP's protege, basically. Do you think Reebok? Oh, do you just rebook Cody versus Yaya before the end of the year? Yes. I think that's the fight the UFC's desperately done. I think they'll rebook it for a third time. Have you ever done martial arts like high school wrestling or anything like that? I wear Venom gear on a regular basis, and that's basically my martial arts. And I'm also a black belt in every jiu-jitsu form you could ever imagine. Nah, I'm kidding. Why do you think people never talk about O'Malley's failed PED test? Cult-like following, I guess. Cult-like following. And also, I feel like people only single out highly successful. Not that O'Malley hasn't had success, but he's not a champion. He's not like starching top contenders. And also, he doesn't have a Paulo Costa physique or a Kamaru Usman physique. So that's why. That's another reason. For some reason, people think PEDs always means you're built like Brock Lesnar. That's not the case. What was Cody Garbrandt's injury? It wasn't known. It wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't put out there. That information is not out there. Because O'Malley's skinny, so people, there you go. What's the solution to Max Holloway? Should he move up? I don't think there is a solution. Wait for somebody to dethrone Volk, or pray Volk moves up and wins the lightweight title and stays there. Who would win between Yair and Arnold Allen? I pick Yair. Who's going to win, Reyes or Spann? I think Reyes is a farly superior fighter. But Spann has brutal KO power, and Reyes is constantly having that nose injury. And then on top of that, he's been out for a while. I wear Venom on a regular basis. Laughing faces, yeah. When did Sean fail a PED test? Right after he came off Contender Series, I believe. He was suspended. He got suspended for like 2 years. With Volk really wanting to move up to be double champ, do you think you can see the UFC just doing an interim featherweight belt? Yes, I could. I could see that happening. Did you think Sandhagen beat TJ? Yes, I did. When was this? A while ago. Could Volkanovski be the first triple champ? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, Volkanovski could win the 55 belt. He's not winning the 70 belt, and he's not making the 35. So, how would Habib versus Jorge at 170 gone? Habib would have ragdolled him. That definitely made me lose some respect for Sean. Well, there you go. Yair versus Emmett Bucket. I think he was set to fight Chito at the time as well. I don't remember that. Let's look it up real quick. Sean O'Malley Tapology. Let me take a look. Was he? Yeah, he was. In 2019, right? And he was out until 2020. He didn't fight until 2020. So, O'Malley, he was supposed to fight on the Habib McGregor card against Jose Alberto Quinones. And he was flagged for USADA violation. And then he was flagged by the NSAC for a drug test violation. So 2 fights in a row. And nobody talks about that ever. Even I don't talk about it. And I remember that, but it's kind of just, it's one of those things you just kind of gloss over. Because no one ever talks about it. But there you go. Joey, wasn't Wonderboy supposed to fight Sean Brady? No, they talked about it, but Wonderboy was never taking that. The first triple champ will not be for a while. Nobody on the current UFC roster is capable of achieving that. Yeah, I don't think anybody ever will be a triple champion. Yeah, who knows? For all we know, O'Malley's still cheating. If he gets caught again, I mean, that'd be his 3rd failed test. Maybe he was taking something to increase the durability of those brittle bones. How do you think TJ Grant could have been? I think he could have beat Benson Henderson, to be honest. I don't think he would have been like some goat. He would have lost probably to Pettis or something. But do you think Pimlet is ever going to be a top contender? He's still young, so maybe, but no. No, absolutely not. I don't think Pimlet's good at all. I think he's, he gets a lot of attention because he's got a fun personality, but I think he's a shitty fighter, to be quite honest. I mean, Jordan Levitt's out grappling you in that capacity. I mean, you're getting rocked by Rodrigo Vargas and Luigi Vendramini. No. Pimlet is shit. He's not so young. It's not like we're talking about 17 years old. He's like 28, 29. So, make sure my laptop's not overheating. Okay. He knew that was coming. Okay. Pimlet will never be anywhere near. Do you see Cejudo back in the octagon? No, I don't care if Cejudo ever fights again. I really don't. As crazy as that sounds, I do not care if Cejudo ever fights again. Dude overplayed his hand. I don't care if he ever comes back. Who do you have winning, Gamrot or Dariush? I'm leaning Dariush, but I may switch to Gamrot. I got to look deeper into it. So, Pimlet has good judo, decent BJJ, and his striking is really not good. Yeah, I don't think anything's particularly elite. Who is the most effective coach? I don't know. I don't think about coaches too much. He said it was a tainted supplement, to be fair. Yeah, I don't even remember. I had to look back into it. Jones said that too. Yeah, and that is true. That is what they all say. It would not shock me, and we haven't talked about this too much on the channel. It would not shock me if a lot of these companies... So what happens when you claim tainted supplement? What happens is USADA goes out and they buy this supplement a few different places, and then they test it. And if the supplement is still tainted from their personal test, then they'll basically give you lenient punishment, okay? But would not surprise me, and this isn't even a conspiracy theory. I really think I lean towards the probability this is true, at least in some cases. I'm not saying in Sean O'Malley's case. I'm just saying I definitely think this exists. I think there's companies that make supplements that are intentionally tainted, and these people who use them already know that they're tainted. Okay, they know that they're tainted. They intentionally use them, and it's probably just spread by word of mouth, and everyone knows that supplement is tainted, and they use it for the extra benefits. And then, for example, high level athletes who are randomly tested can then always fall back on, oh, well, it must be one of my supplements. I'm going to check out your Curtis interview right after this live. Yeah, do me a favor, watch it all the way to the end, like it, and comment on it. I would greatly appreciate it. Prediction. Oh, hold on, wait. Sean O'Malley with the stretcher icon. Joey, if Charles beats Islam, do you think Abib versus Charles would do over 1 million pay-per-view buys? Yes. It'd be a massive fight, but it will not happen. Prediction for Yan versus Dern. I would take Dern all day. Yeah, there's something weird going on. It wasn't anything crazy. Yeah, I don't remember. I always see you typing in. Yeah, I've never been in anyone else's chat, so there you go. Do you ever watch Road to the UFC fights? No, I do not. I don't think I have. Maybe in the past. I used to watch UFC Primetime. It was a good show back in the day. The OGs who've been watching for like 10 years. If you guys remember the prime times, they were like embedded, but like 50 million times better. Nathaniel Wood, where do you see his ceiling at? I think he's like a top 15 guy, but I don't think he'll ever break into the top 10. It wasn't a steroid, just a performance enhancer. Fair enough. Who could Hanato Moicano beat out of the list? Gillespie, Guram, Joel, McKinney, Moises, Dawson, Riddell, Bobby, Hooker, Ferreira, Puelis, Dober. I don't know, man. Maybe he could probably beat Bobby and Hooker, but that's probably about it. Maybe Ferreira. Pimlet and McCann are bad. They need to switch gyms. Yeah, I don't even know if that's going to help him. Does Hooker lose to Claudio? Does Hooker lose to Claudio? No. Who suspended TJ, USADA, or the UFC? USADA. Strickland and Francis have a great coach. I think his name is Eric. Yes. Yep. Same coach as Chris Curtis. Yep. Who has better striking, Hamzat or Colby? Hamzat. I believe that too, Joey. Good point. There you go. I'm assuming that's about my tainted supplement thing. Like, they definitely know, and they're like, oh, we're going to use this. So then if we do get caught, we can fall back on it. I'm not saying everyone's doing that, but I'm just saying it is possible. Didn't Yo claim he took a tainted supplement but won his lawsuit? Yes, he did. Favorite UFC fighter right now? It was Jose Aldo, but now he's retired. Favorite fighter currently? Probably Charles Oliveira or Piotr Jan. Just because Charles Oliveira is so exciting and so high level. Piotr Jan's so high level. Is Matchdown an underdog to win the belt? No, he will never win the belt, unfortunately. Do you feel like it's getting to the point where Dana is signing too many people from the Contender Series? For my liking, yes. But for the UFC, they're just looking for people they can pay low amounts of money and fill out cards with. That's literally all they're doing. If Islam wins, would Charles get a rematch? It depends how the fight ended. Let's say he dominated him. No. It's a close fight and Islam gets a split decision, then yes. It seems like if you win in the show, you get a contract now. Sometimes it does. I haven't been watching it for the last few weeks, but yeah, I've been catching the replays of the good fights. People who get signed. Prediction for Hooker versus Puelis. I think Hooker will probably piece him up on the feet, but I could see Puelis submitting Hooker. So it all depends if Puelis can get the takedown or not. Chris Curtis talking about the fight someone out of the rankings. Prediction for who that could be. No idea, but I'll throw out a short notice fight against Nick Maximoff. Can you slam dunk on a 10-foot hoop? Yes, of course I can. I'm 7 foot tall. What do you think? Would you want to see Gon? Who would you want to see Gon fight next? Curtis Blades is the only answer to that question. Guys, do me a favor if you haven't already, like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. There's 70 people in here, and we currently have 29 likes. So run up the likes on the stream. Also, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, go subscribe right this very minute. We're cruising to 10K subscribers. We're cruising to 10K subscribers. So you guys got to do that. Watch every video all the way to the end. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Where was I at? If we lose Sean versus Piotr on 280 card, would you care or just hoping we get the main event? Of course I would care. I want that card to stay intact. That's an amazing card. So I'd be devastated. How far do you think Michael Morales will go? It's too early to tell, man. He's looked very good, but I don't think right now, at his age, I mean, what is he, like 21 or 22? Let me take a look. How old is he? He's like 22, and he's 23 now. It's too early to tell, man. It's just too early to tell. Do you collect UFC cards? No, but I would like to. Do you think Izzy will beat Pereira? I'm back and forth. You know, I want to say Pereira's going to stop him, but at the same time, I think Izzy could just win his decision. True, I don't really think 17-year-olds should have got a contract for a decision win. It's hard to say. I really hope Oliveira KOs Islam. I really dislike that guy. That'd be hilarious. I mean, could you imagine if he KOs Islam in the first round and then calls out Habib? Olives has some sneaky power to gauge. He said he felt like he got electrocuted. Wow. Yeah, dude. Charles is now. I've been on the Charles Oliveira train for a long time. And I've been a big believer. I've picked him, and I don't remember the last time I picked against Charles. Every big fight he's had since I started the channel, I've picked Charles. I love his fight style. I want him as champion. I want him to win that fight. I'm rooting for Charles Oliveira to win that fight, but I just love that matchup. If it wasn't for Zabit's cardio condition, he could have ran through the division. Do you agree? It's tough to say, man. Maybe, maybe not. It's just too hard to say. Joey, how would you feel about D-Rod matchup versus Chiesa? I think they should match him up with Kevin Holland again. Just listen to William Harris on Joe Rogan. Habib does not believe it won't take longer than 2 rounds. Okay. To finish Oliveira. Okay, well, he can believe all he wants. Doesn't mean it's actually going to go that way. Yeah, people were sleeping on Charles Oliveira, for a long time. I swear I was a big believer in Oliveira for a long time. Izzy can stop him, too. He had Pereira on a stanky leg in their second fight. Yeah. I mean, I'm very curious to see how it goes down with 2 elite-level kickboxers. One of the biggest tragedies is when they had children injury against Max Holloway. That fight was going to be crazy. Had that children injury. I don't know what you're talking about. Joe, would you pick Charles against Habib? Probably not, to be quite honest. Probably not. I think Habib's pressure, I think his stamina and his ground and pound are just too much. Bellator has a good card in 286. That's this Friday, right? It's in the afternoon, though. So, unfortunately, I do not believe I will be watching. But maybe I can. Maybe. I'm going to Tapology right now and see what you're talking about real quick. That's Bellator 285. Bellator 286 is nasty. I remember. That's Pitbull versus Boris. Co-main McKee versus Carlisle. So, I kind of wouldn't mind Pitbull versus McKee 3. So, where's that at? Where is that taking place at? Long Beach, California. Just watching Izzy turn into a wrestler. Nah, I don't think he's going to. I only dislike Islam because of the people around him and his fans, mainly Habib. Fair enough. I think a lot of people would agree with you. Can you see Izzy going for a takedown? No, I do not think he will. I was a big believer in Oliveira versus Dustin, Justin, and Chandler. However, I do believe Islam will do the same thing to them. That's why the fight... Yeah, the fight versus Islam is one of the most compelling fights ever. Would Habib beat Colby at 170? Yes. I believe that he would beat Colby at 170. I just think Hamzat has better striking, more power. So, I am the Ice Cream Man. Yes, you are. Ice Cream Man MMA. If Charles wins against Islam, you should dye your hair blonde. No, that's never going to happen. That's the dumbest thing ever. Fiziev, the next 155-pound champ? No. Fiziev will not be the next 155-pound champ. Because technically, that's a trick question because the belt is vacated right now. And the winner of Oliveira versus Makhachev will be the next lightweight champion. And if Oliveira wins, he will be a 2-time lightweight champion, unfortunately. Because he should have never lost that belt. He should have never lost that belt. He should have never lost that belt. Yeah, I like the emoji in the chat, guys. Come on. Spam it up. Spam it up. Would Khabib beat Burns and Usman at 170? Probably not. Maybe Burns, definitely not Kamaru. Hamzat versus Khabib at 170. I pick Hamzat. Khabib, I think that's too much. That's too much. Hamzat is too big for him. Theoretically, would Khabib had a chance against Hamzat at 170, or is he too small? I think he would have had a shot, but I would pick Hamzat. But that would have been fun. Could you imagine? With the back and forth they've had in the past. I'd like that. Book that fight. Where do you think Eddie Alvarez will sign? Where do I think Eddie Alvarez will sign? 38 years old. Maybe PFL, but I'm going to say, per sources, Eddie Alvarez re-signs with Bellator, makes a reunion with Bellator, and finishes out his MMA career in Bellator. There you go. I think Eddie... there you go. Do you think Edwards beats Hamzat? No, I'd probably pick Hamzat. Khabib would lose to Hamzat. If Edwards can take Usman back, Khabib would as well. But it's all about getting him there. Do you watch any MMA YouTube channels? Not really. Almost nothing, basically. All them ex-UFC fighters trying to get that $1 million. Yeah. But will PFL sign him? I don't know. Did Nate Diaz really meet with WWE, or was I trolled? I think they were at an event or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But I did see the picture, and that definitely was a legitimate picture. I did see that getting shared around. So, yes and no? Yes and no? I mean, that's nothing's going to happen with that. That's just horseshit that's getting shared around. It doesn't really mean... It's meaningless. By the way, while I'm here on Tapology, right? I made a massive mistake the other day. Okay? I thought, for some reason, we skipped a week, then had 2 weeks of fight, and then had two weeks without fights. And then we skipped a week, we had 2 weeks with fights, and then we had a week without fights, is what I meant to say, okay? But really what it is we're not getting a fight card this Saturday. We're getting a fight card the following Saturday. Then we skip a week. Then we're getting a fight card the following Saturday, another shit fight card. And then we are getting UFC 280. So, essentially, we're skipping this week, on, off, on. So, off this week, on the following week, off the following week, on the following week, and then UFC 280. So, on again. So, for some reason, I kept saying it the other day wrong. And literally nobody corrected me. And somebody in the comments said, you're wrong. Because I didn't think there was an event the week before 280, and I was happy about that. Now I'm pissed. Who can Volkanovski beat at 155? I think he can beat a lot of these guys, but I think he'd also lose to a lot of these guys as well. So I think I think his best matchup, honestly, is Oliveira. I think he'd beat Oliveira. I'm not saying I'd even pick him, but maybe. Who do you think wins Usman versus Leon's trilogy? C-level Leon? No, I think Usman wins. I mean, he dominated the whole first fight pretty much. He should sign with one. That could be an option. No, wait. He was just left one, didn't he? I'm dumb. I almost said that could be an option too. Didn't he just leave one? Or was he in Ryzen? No, I think he was in one. Joe, do you think Khabib can headline a pay-per-view without a title or fighting Conor? Definitely. What do you think is going to happen if Teixeira beats Yuri Prochazka? Trilogy retirement, new opponent, maybe Israel moving up? If Glover beats Prochazka for the title, Ain't no way, shape, or form Adesanya is ever even considering moving up to 205. He would. You know what would happen to him? Glover Teixeira would make Israel Adesanya his bitch. He would brutalize him. Islam Merckx Volk. Yeah, I wouldn't like his chances against Islam. How do you think Marlon would do in PFL? How do you think Marlon will do in PFL? It's tough to say, man. I think Marlon's still an elite fighter. The chin's just a liability. Charles gonna murk Islam. We'll see. Habib versus Usman will be a dream fight. Habib versus Oliveira is a dream fight for me. Did you think Song would have beat Sandhagen if he didn't get cut? No. Is Romero's opponent any good this week? He used to be, but no, he's not good. He's not good. He's been brutally KO'd a million times, and he's probably gonna get brutally KO'd by Yoel. How are you? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good as well. Who in the lightweight division has the best chance to beat Fiziev and derail the hype train, in your opinion? Worst matchup for Fiziev is probably Makhachev, would be my opinion. I don't think Beneil has the grappling. The worst matchup for Fiziev would be either, probably, I'd say Makhachev or Gamrot. You could throw Beneil in there too. But I don't know. Those would what I would go with. I like dominant champ if they are finishing guys. Don't like split decisions. I'm taking a 4-week break to get myself ready for 280. Fair enough. It's a shit event before 280. You can still take the week off. Yeah, thanks. But no, I just wanted to start working on some predictions for 280, but I probably will anyway. Thoughts on Raul Rosa Jr.? I mean, he's young. Too early to tell how good he actually will be, but we'll see. Do you think Magomed Ankalaev can make a run at a title? 100%. William Harris was really worried about Usman versus Edwards fight, and he said that the Khabib team were more worried about Conor versus Khabib than Oliveira. Harris is more confident in Islam than Usman. Okay. Imagine Alvarez will sign with bare knuckle. That could happen as well. I'm turning 18 2 days before 280. I'm hyped. I am hyped for you. Grasso versus Araujo is an okay card. Askarov versus Royval. I actually said that in my Chris Curtis interview. It's not a great fight card, but that is a decent fight on it. You know, it's not the October 1st fight card is more garbage than the October 15th card. For sure. But they both leave a lot to be desired, to be quite honest. Let me pull this up. Okay, got that copied. What would you rather see, Usman versus Izzy, Ngannou versus John Jones, or Habib Oliveira? Scratch Usman versus Izzy. It would come down to Ngannou versus John Jones or Habib versus Oliveira. I'll take Habib versus Oliveira. Makes sense. Missed the last few streams. Congratulations on 5K. Thank you. I appreciate it. Who wins, Stipe Miocic or John Jones? I could see the fight going either way. I would take Jones just because Stipe's old as hell. Alvarez versus Nate in Nate's promotion. No. Alvarez would probably ragdoll Nate badly. Happy early birthday? Okay. I mean, I guess you could say that at any point in the year, right? I wouldn't mind seeing Eddie versus Chandler 3. I think a lot of people have speculated on that. No big fights on either card. I don't know why you guys are randomly saying happy early birthday, but okay. If you're going to say happy early birthday, you got to send it with a super chat. Don't you know? Don't you know how this works? Do you think Izzy ducked Jones because bro went up as soon as Jones vacated? No. No, I don't think so, but I think he'll know he'll get washed by Jones. I mean, he was talking mad shit about Jones. Jones would wreck Izzy badly. I said that long before he lost to Jan. If there's one man that can't be beat, who do you got? I don't know. I don't think there is one man that can't be beat. Okay, I don't know what we're talking. Nate still looked good. No, he didn't. No, I just got to stop reading that right there. Nate did not look good. If Lee gets a main event in his next one, who should be against him? Why? It should be someone ranked. I say you rebook the D-Rod fight, give them both a full training camp, but it shouldn't be a main event though. Why do you want to see Hamzat fight little guys at 170 instead of men his size at 185? Dude, there's plenty of people his size at 170. Calm down. Did you think Nate looked good in his fight against Tony? No. For not training anything besides wrestling before? No, I don't think Nate took it seriously. Bro's going to be 18. What was the main event for UFC 146? Junior Dos Santos versus Frank Mir. Frank Mir stepped in on short notice. It was supposed to be a different fight initially. I think that's right. I'm not checking it. I might be wrong on that one. I think it was Junior Dos Santos versus Frank Mir in May of like 2013 or 2012. I think that's what it was. Let me know in the chat if that's accurate. About to go hit the strip club? Hit the strip club then, my friend. Throw them quarters at them girls. Do you watch Charles? Okay. Don't pay for any dancers. Have your boys pay. Okay. Yeah, there you go. I'm dumb. I am so dumb. I just realized what I was reading earlier. I'm turning 18 2 days before 280. I'm hyped. Everyone was telling him happy early. I'm so dumb. It just hit me what was going on. Happy early birthday, Brendan. I'm a dumbass. I'm dying laughing right now because I was so confused. I read the message and then it's out of my head when I'm reading the next message. What was the co-main event for 172? Phil Davis versus Anthony Rumble Johnson. Easy. Have you watched Thrill and Agony video bits of Tony? No, I have not. I really don't watch. I don't watch those too often. Gaethje versus Chandler rematch. Who you got? Gaethje all day. How would Leon do versus Izzy? He would lose. Mark Madsen versus Gregor Gillespie would be a good one that makes sense. Yeah, book it. That's what Gregor Gillespie deserves, fighting someone outside the ranks. Yeah, you got it. 2012. There you go. I hope you think when you throw those out there. I mean, I'm clearly not searching anything, so unless I have that event up on my screen right now, I hope you know I'm just guessing off the top of my head. I'm actually better with the 100s than I am the 200s because ever since the numbers overlapped, it's confusing. Yeah, I want to say it was like late May 2012, something like that. Do you think Moreno Figgy will be on the UFC Brazil card? I'm hoping so. Would you want to see Habib and Tony coach Tough? Not anymore. Honestly. Tough is I can't stomach Tough. How did Tony not tap to that nasty armbar? Oliveira almost snapped his arm. He tapped to Nate with a one-arm choke. No clue. I had no clue. Would Habib come out of retirement if Oliveira beats Islam? The build-up would be crazy. No, but I would love if he did. Toughest opponent for Hamzat at 170 or 185. Toughest opponent at 170 is Kamaru Usman. Toughest opponent at 185 is Whitaker, most likely. Joe, what's next for Brian Ortega since he's the odd man out of the featherweight division? I would like to see him welcome Zabit back. I guess they could do the Max Holloway rematch, but I don't think anybody's clamoring for that. I mean, unless you have a fetish for watching Brian Ortega get his brains bashed in, I don't think anybody wants that. So, I don't know. Let me take a look. When did Brian Ortega last fight? Was it against Volk? Has he fought since then? No, he fought Yair and lost, right? Because he dislocated his shoulder. Book the Yair rematch. Depending on what's going on with the title situation, book the Yair rematch. That's the fight I want to see. Do you think getting KO'd is going to change Usman's view that he is untouchable? He thought he was unstoppable for the Leon fight. I think it's definitely got to change something. We thought 2021 was bad for Tony, but 2022 even worse with him being KO'd and subbed. Yeah. What do you think next is for Yair Rodriguez? Either Josh Emmett for an interim belt or maybe a Brian Ortega rematch. Who do you got at 85, Izzy or Usman? Izzy for sure. Massive fan of Aldo. I think he just stayed around a tad too long, perhaps. I don't think he's... What? White Magic. What are you smoking tonight, bro? Aldo was still top tier fighter when he retired. I mean, even the Merab fight, he didn't look terrible. He just got held against the cage against a guy who's arguably could be a #1 contender. So I disagree wholeheartedly. I think Aldo got out while the getting was good, and I'm happy that he's out. I'm going to miss him, but he's still a top-tier fighter. Jose Aldo is still an elite-level fighter right now. No. I mean, Merab looked flat. So is it time for Merab to retire too? Merab looked awful in that fight. So, yeah. But either way, that's your opinion. You can have it. But I don't... Dude saying he stuck around for too long like he got KO'd brutally 5 times in a row. Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev versus Usman for the interim title. Why would you do that? It's Usman versus Leon. Khamzat fights the winner. Or fights Colby in the meantime, and then fights the winner. He looked a bit off against Merab, but he didn't take any damage. Exactly. Do you think Volk will ever get the opportunity for a title at 155? That division has so many contenders. Yes, I do. Maybe early next year I could see him getting an opportunity. He's earned it at this point. I think the UFC will give it to him. I think the UFC would give it to him. All right, guys. If you have any final questions, throw them in the chat. I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes, answer a few more questions. And, you know, I will be back probably, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing another stream. I have no idea yet. No idea. But we'll see. We'll see. And I'm probably going to do a video tonight, if not tomorrow. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. There's not a lot going on. I'm trying to just chill a little bit. Honestly, for the last year and a half, I've been going nuts with work on the channel. So it's actually kind of nice these next like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. To kind of relax a little bit. So yeah, there we go. There we go. So if you guys have any final questions, throw them in the chat. Thank you, Stan J, for the congratulations on the 5K. Will we ever see Khamzat versus Usman? I will say yes. We will see it in the summer or fall of next year. Summer or fall of next year. So, appreciate you, my friend. So, well, guys, I am going to get out of here. It's been real. It's been fun. I don't know if it's been real fun, but I think it has been. I'm going to get out of here. There's been no real news, but I have a decent video I want to work on. It's going to be either tonight or tomorrow. That'll be out. But before I go, recently your videos are getting really good in terms of breakdown. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Sanjay. Chan Sung Jung versus Bryce Mitchell. No. Bryce Mitchell is fighting Arnold Allen. But before I go, let me go copy the link for this. Guys, do me a favor right this very second. I need you guys to do me a favor. I'm going to post a link in the chat. I need you guys to go watch and like this video. I would greatly appreciate it. It's the interview I did with Chris Curtis. I would greatly appreciate it. Here you go. Go watch that video. I just posted it in the chat. Go watch that video. Like it. Watch it till the end. Comment on it. All that good stuff. Help boost it in the algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. It's my interview with Chris Curtis. We talk about everything. Khamzat Chimaev, weight miss at 279. Nate Diaz, his issues with Chael Sonnen, his issue with Nick Maximoff, his next fight, his previous fight against Jack Hermanson, flipping off Jack Hermanson, UFC London, everything you could ever imagine. Sean Strickland versus Jared Cannonier, Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Go watch the video. I just posted it in the chat. Go watch it. Enjoy it. Like it. Comment on it. Help boost it in the algorithm any way you can. I mean, there's 55 of you guys in here. Go do it. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys later. And thank you for joining the chat. If I don't do a live stream between now and, the weekend, I will see you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your night and take it easy. So, talk to you guys later.